Welcome and thank you for joining us for the second half hour, The Factor Uncensored, an immigration operation carried out in Colony Ridge and led by Governor Greg Abbott under scrutiny tonight. Colony Ridge is a community near Houston. In a statement on X, Governor Abbott posted Texas DPS troopers and special agents are assisting Homeland Security investigations and are targeting criminals and illegal immigrants. Today's operations weren't officially called raids, but according to one of my next guests, law enforcement made multiple traffic stops and arrests. Joining us to talk about it here on The Factor, Executive Director of FIEL Houston, Cesar Espinosa, and Cristina Rodriguez, who supports President Trump. First of all, Cesar, you found yourself going to Colony Ridge today for a press conference, but you were also stopped. So tell us what occurred with you.
So before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to my son, Mateo. Every time I come on here, he stays on here. So he promised me that I would say hi to him. So,
all right.
Hello,
give it
kid.
up for Mateo.
And so we were out there. We were looking around. We had, since the early morning hours, we had received multiple calls, multiple messages on our social media that that immigration was out there conducting raids. We try to be very careful because we don't want to spread mass panic. But around 10 or so, we saw the governor's tweet, and we said, okay, this is the real one, right? So we go out there. As soon as we get there, we see somebody getting handcuffed by ICE on the street. And we drive around, and within about an hour and a half that we were there, we saw well over a dozen stops by DPS, and it just happened that one of those stops was our car. You know, we were driving around, minding our own business, doing our exercising our First Amendment rights, and then all of a sudden...
And we see you there being stopped by
DPS,
state police, DPS there.
And it was an unlawful stop because they said we didn't have our front license plate, but at the end of the day, we do have a front license plate. But I guess we were just driving the wrong color in Cleveland, so... It is,
and what is
sad.
the atmosphere like now in Colony Ridge?
It's so tense. While we were there, so many people were calling us. They were asking, you know, should we leave? Should we stay? What do we do? What, you know, mass panic. There was people pulling their kids out of school in the middle of the day. Moms going to school and saying, you know, I'm getting my kids out because I don't know if ICE is going to be here when it's pickup time. So it was a sense of panic, and, you know, whatever may happen next, the damage is done. That town is forever scared and is scared of what could happen next.
And really quick, located in Liberty County, for those who don't know much about Colony Ridge, how would you describe it?
It's an area that it's a lot of immigrants that live out there. There's we've been having issues with it for the last 10 years, and people being sold land out there for cheap. And of course, a lot of people are now blaming that it's a hub for illegal immigrants. And Governor Abbott has used it as part of his propaganda to say that it's an area full of crime and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's just hardworking people.
All right, Cristina, let's hear from you. You support President Trump. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so we know that Governor Abbott has a habitual background in attacking Houston and our communities. This has nothing to do with Trump. Trump hasn't even said anything about Houston. His has been all Abbott. And Abbott is the one who, he's known for fighting with Houston. He's always fighting with our communities. He's targeted this community many times over the past 10 years. And this is just nothing brand new. He did a campaign in Brownsville. He put up billboards targeting illegal immigrants, talking about that they don't need to come here. So this is all Abbott's doing. So Abbott himself is really internalizing his racism and playing it out against the city of Houston. He's been doing it for years. This is an attack on our city directly from Governor Abbott. They're with the whole behind Trump. Trump hasn't even said nothing about Houston, has left Houston alone. He hasn't even made the governor.
Now, you know, this community, Colony Ridge, has been a beacon in the conservative world, saying it's a settlement, it's full of illegal immigrants. The president knows about this, and he's put out a blanket policy around the country. He wants illegal immigrants arrested. and I don't think Houston gets a pass.
So I don't think that there's illegal there. There's not. And I think that that's just a lot of just propaganda that's being said about that area just to call people illegals, just so they can go and just harm people, pull people apart, and just go over there to do things that they're so calling it under, that there's illegal activity happening over there. How is that illegal activity happening over there when these people live there? That's their homes. They built and they bought this land so that they could live there and prosper. There's nothing illegal happening there. That's all being targeted by Abbott, and that's all done purposefully, and that's wrong.
And really quick, Caesar, do you think this is Abbott alone, or does
I
President?
think it has everything to do with Trump. I mean, Trump has said, you know, we're going to go and have collateral damage. The DPS was there. They were calling ICE, who are federal agents, under President Trump's directive to detain and deport as many people as
All right,
possible.
thank you guys. We should have had more time.